Every writer faced it eventually, the identity crisis of the genre. Or maybe not. Maybe it's just me. Who knows? But yes, this is something I've been struggling with since I got feedback back on draft 2, you know, like back in May. It's November. So here we are, crashing out. Not even the first time this week. I have a whole other video for next week about a vlog for starting draft 4, spiraling about other things, so that's fun. But today, we're only talking about genre crash out sort of things, because that is what I have been doing. Let's talk about this a little bit more. So, the genres that I've been being pulled in like 2 different directions for have been whether the fact my book is a hunting adventure book or it's a memoir. I'm like both? No, it's not. It is one more than the other, and I have been saying it's a memoir. My feel for it is my hunting memoir is The Adventures of an Outfitter's Daughter, a journey to try to get my dream black bear alongside my dad at a big game outfitter based out of Idaho. The many highs and lows we face along the way. It's a journey of self-discovery, personal struggles, familial relationships, and identity, all wrapped up in about 22 action-packed hunts. And so you can see there's elements a little bit of both in there, and I will talk about the definition for both of those genres here in a second. I just wanted to talk to you guys about, you know, my little genre crash out, how that's going to affect my writing and my querying and publishing hopefully in the future. And then I also wanted to talk to you guys about how this could potentially help you guys out, you know, listening to my crash out. Maybe it won't, maybe it will. I just wanted to talk to you guys about these things because I couldn't just keep moving forward without telling you guys of this realization, because it's a big part of this process for me. What is the difference, you know, between a hunting adventure book and a hunting memoir? So I had to Google it. The other day I was listening to somebody else's memoir. There was something that had triggered it. I was like, let me just look this up real quick. Just real quick. And it says that a hunting memoir is a nonfiction account focusing on the author's personal experiences, feelings, and reflections from a specific period or theme in their life, which my book does do. However, it's not very reflective. So we'll get into that more in a second. Hunting adventure book is often more of a narrative-driven, sometimes fictionalized or dramatized story that emphasizes the thrilling, action-packed, or challenging aspects of the hunt, which my book also does. So yeah. It says the biggest difference is that while most involve hunting, the memoir prioritizes the why and the personal journey, while the adventure book focuses more on the what happened in terms of exciting events. For me, I can see my book being pulled in both of those directions, but the biggest thing is with it being 22 action-packed hunts, it is definitely more of a what happened sequence of event of me trying to achieve a specific goal, and that goal was to get my dream black bear. I was so focused on it being a memoir but wasn't putting in more of the reflective parts of a memoir. The thing is, know that guys, the main readership of hunting books, want that action. They don't want to hear you talking about this and that and this and that, and so I hadn't been pulling that into my books, so it's not truly an actual memoir. Which is just fantastic. I like having this realization at draft. I'm on draft 4 right now. Yeah, that's fantastic. But the biggest thing is that going forward, my writing doesn't have to change. If I was doing a memoir, this whole book would have to change because it's literally structured as a hunting adventure book. You would think that would be the biggest sign, you know, the biggest red flag. Obviously it was not, so here we are, crashing out about it. Moving forward, the biggest changes with this is how I am telling people about it, how I am describing it and how I query it. That is going to be the biggest change, because I can't sell it off of it being a memoir, because it's not a memoir. It's a narrative nonfiction book. It is a hunting adventure book. So I have to look for agents that want those sorts of books. And I need to stop talking about it here on YouTube as a memoir as well. It's not to say that I won't ever write a true memoir, but I have to wake up, because this is not in fact a memoir. It is not. That's fun. The biggest resistance for me is I know the differences between the two, and when I tell somebody it's a hunting memoir, I feel like you get a better response than maybe something from a hunting adventure book, because a hunting memoir seems more meaningful but I just have to remind myself this is still my book. It is my adventures. There's still true deep meaning in these hunts, and I like want people to get something from it, and it's okay that it's not a true memoir. So I have to be open to that and to the changes that will put into my writing and just my process and my publishing. Hopefully that is so great. I am just fighting with this, and I have been for months, if not years, just trying to figure out how to move forward with this. I think the biggest thing is stop talking about it as a memoir, reevaluate. I'm gonna reread the book this weekend and go through some last minute edits and stuff and just double check to make sure I don't need to change anything big, to make sure it's truly a hunting adventure book and not a memoir. But I really don't think so, because it's so rooted in these adventures and like my journey to achieve a certain goal. And you know what happened. It's not just the what happened, but you know, it's a big part of it. There is that why in my book, and it's threaded throughout it, but it's definitely not the main point. Like, you're not going on this personal reflective journey of me telling you why I hunt and why I do this and why I do that. I do touch on all my personal struggles and like some of my why, but it's not the main focus of this book, and that's okay. I just have to keep reminding myself that's okay. So here we are with this genre Crashout. Thankfully, I'm on the other end of this. Just gotta stay positive about it and keep moving forward, and you know, just keep working on my book on where I am, and to be okay with change. I think that's the biggest thing that I want others to take away from something like this, is that you have to be open for change no matter what when you're writing. And you better realize it's not just the little stuff. It's not just the line level, prose level, developmental stuff. It's some of the bigger genre stuff. You know, tropes are a big thing lately. Sometimes like you know things, but you don't truly know certain things. Like you need an outside perspective, or you just need space from something, you know, time to come back to it. And I think I've had enough time, and I've been, you know, trying to outsource more like educational stuff. And I think I do focus a little too much on YouTube for learning certain things. It's nice to be able to watch and, you know, listen to other people and their experiences, and, you know, take that into account when you move forward in your own project. And you hit those bumps in the roads. And so I think it helps to watch people like that, and that's why I'm also sharing this here. Yeah, I think you just really have to be open to things changing in your creative project. As much as it might suck, you might have to do complete plot overhaul, which I've had to do. You might have to realize you're trying to market it for the wrong genre, or you're writing in the wrong genre, or maybe your voice needs some work, or this or that. You just have to be open to it, and if you can't, sometimes you just have to take space and take time from it. I think that's why they tell you so much, is to take space from a first draft, is because, you know, you need that time away from a project to not be so attached to it and attached to what is initially there, because it could be something way better if you give yourself space and come back to it with a fresh, open mind and revise it in a different way, or maybe rewrite it in a different way. But yeah, that's my genre Crashout. You know, I was not hoping to have so many this last like week and a half. So, you know, be looking forward to the next one. It's more of just like a spiral about draft 4 and me trying to rush too much into certain things. You see other people's, you know, how somebody else processes something or does things. Everybody's different, and even for me, each draft has looked different, and draft 4 is looking way different for me, so I have to keep that into account. But that's not what this video is about, so I should probably just end this off here, because I kind of want to edit and post this today, because why not? I have some fun things to announce next week, maybe, as long as I stay on track this weekend with some other things. So I want to have this up this week and then put up a different video next week with that Crashout and a fun announcement. So that's where I am, and I hope you personally don't have to go through this, but if you do, I hope you can figure it out, or somebody else helps you figure it out, and I hope it helps your project so much and that you get published, whether you go the self-published route or the traditional. You can do it. I believe in you. Sometimes I have to believe in myself more because I feel like sometimes I believe more in other people than myself. So yeah, that's where I am, and I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!